What it do, y'all? It's Coffee, back with some news updates. Tap in, let's talk. Lord Jamar tapping back in with Vlad. It's been 5 years, 5 jump offs, 5 long jump offs since Lord Jamar been over there at Vlad TV. If y'all recall, he was a regular on Vlad TV. There was all those Eminem interviews, guests in the House of Hip Hop, among a lot of other great stuff. I'm just saying that Eminem ones like crossed over like crazy, mainstream, blew up with tons of other viral interviews. You know what I'm saying? And there was the controversy where DJ Vlad misquoted the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And originally Lord Jamar was telling Vlad, you should apologize or something to that extent. But a little while later, he like doubled back and was like, yo, Vlad, you gotta make this right. And Vlad said that, I believe, tap in for those that remember back then specifically, that he put up a post or something like that correcting what he said, that he didn't come out with a formal apology or whatever. And Lord Jamar was like, yo, I can't rock with you no more. I'm gone. Peace. I'm out of here. And he already had the Godcast network, but he, really started pushing the content out there like full time. Up until that point, I don't think he was doing it as much, and I believe Godfrey went with him as well. And if fast forward to where we are now, a lot has transpired for Lord Jamar over the past 18 months or so, from coming out as a Trump supporter, not like 100%, but he definitely was flirting with Trump, as opposed to, that's who he was saying it would get his vote. What else? The flat earth ish, where he got into this all out melee with all these different scientists and content creators. And a lot of people were like, yo, he's coming out looking goofy. Then Godfrey, which was his man 50 grand, they fell out at some point behind this ish. Godfrey, I believe, has already put something up addressing him going back to Vlad TV. And because I was hearing rumblings of it, like, yo, is he really going back? Nah, couldn't be, but he is. Here he is, Also, there were some things he said about Kendrick, the game, that just things that didn't really add up all the way like that. And here he is now back at Vlad TV. And I don't know if it's going to be like last time, where he was like a regular correspondent doing regular interviews, but we're getting this first one. What do y'all think, man? Is this like even more of a bad look for Lord Jamar? Like he's only doing this because everything else done flop for him now, and he's looking bad out here, so he's running back to Vlad like, yo, Vlad, my name's all bad in these blogosphere streets. You heard? Like, the trolls won't leave me alone, and I'm just not really respected like that no more. So I'm back Team Vlad, or what? I don't know. I'm sure they'll be like, yo, people are going to say things, but, behind the scenes, me and Vlad we've been talking. Tell him, Jamar. He's like, yeah, Vlad, you's a good guy, B, I don't know, man. I'm just predicting, Comment and let me know if you're predicting something of the same nature to go down. And it's kind of wild, too. Like N.O.R.E, Drink Champs. If you guys recall, after that whole controversy went down, on an episode of Drink Champs, N.O.R.E told Vlad, yo, any content that I've done on your platform, kill that noise. I want it up off the platform. Done, data, no more. Get it the fuck up out of here. And Vlad didn't do that. Vlad's very like Vlad, dislike Vlad. I'm not trying to sit here and amp ish up and, say all this, like put batteries in backs and, like create heat or whatever the fuck you want to call him. I'm just saying, like, Vlad's like that, where he's gonna do or say what he's gonna do, in a sense. I'm not saying he's a tough guy. I'm saying when it comes to the content, like, he ain't really gonna back down, and he didn't to N.O.R.E. He said, nah, B, that ish is staying up. And then next thing we know, he ends up on Drink Champs, and there was a lot, I think that was like maybe a year or so ago, a lot of people were like, yo, Vlad, what the fuck's, or N.O.R.E, Like, use a sellout, B, you know what I mean? And then the whole revolt connection and everything, like, I don't know, which I was a big fan of Drink Champs, but it just ain't hitting the same like it was in its initial stages, you know? Like, shout out DJ EFN and N.O.R.E. I'm just saying, a lot of people were looking at N.O.R.E. type crazy for that, like, yo, what the fuck, N.O.R.E., like, you're better than that, you know? But I see a lot of people saying he's a sellout. And then did you guys see that piece of content where Dame Dash was like saying N.O.R.E. was on some Diddy Stein Island type ish?
He was trying to make me drink Ciroc the whole time. And I had my own liquor. And I'm like, why you keep trying to make me drink fucking Ciroc? And then, like, I finally said, all right, and I switched the drink on him. So if you look at the tape, I switch it. You know, so he pours me a drink, and then I go like that. And then he drinks it, and he ends up stupid drunk, taking, you know, going crazy. So I'm like, yo, this thing might have been trying to drug me. But I do want to know, like, yo, why did you want me to drink so much that day? And now you over there. And, you know, it's like, now all of a sudden I'm the villain. You was my man. I don't know what happened. It's like when you go over there, you got to make a choice. He was trying.
So y'all heard that, right? He was talking about on Drink Champs, as I was just saying, or was it on Drink? I believe that was Drink Champs he was referencing with N.O.R.E., right? He brought his own liquor. I got my own booze, BYOB, and it ain't beer, it's booze. You son of a bitch, doing his own shots, and N.O.R.E.'s just like, yo, you gotta have this Ciroc, the Diddy juice. Pause, right? You know, everything going on with the trial right now, man. That shit's so crazy, y'all. The Punisher's interview, man. I just, yo, that is just bonkers. Pause. It's crazy, man. But I felt Killer Cam really killed that interview. Like, can someone second that with me? Like, he did a very good job interviewing the Punisher. But yeah, man, like Dame Dash, you know, who after Rockefeller, like, things have been not so easy for him, you know, but he's said things are a lot better off for him than one would think, you know, because the way it looked like he's been broke as a joke, stuck like Chuck, you know, trying to sell his piece of the pie, and you know what I'm saying, Jay-Z trying to stop him essentially or whatever. And then when he is selling the piece at the auction, there's creditors trying to get money from him. It's crazy, man. You know what I mean? It's like we see Rapper the Game always trying to move his money around, cook the books with Whack 100 like Dame Dash. You know, like he's still breathing, he's still kicking. He's got his, what's it called, America U or America New or whatever the fuck it is. Comment if you rock with that platform. But what do y'all think about what he's saying there? Like, he pulled the okey doke on N.O.R.E. He hit him with the Uno reverse card and had him drinking his own Diddy juice. Pause. And next thing you know, N.O.R.E. was saucy McSaucers and all flucked up. It's crazy, man. And you know, just a side note too, when I was speaking about how N.O.R.E. wanted Vlad to pull the content down and Vlad wouldn't, and he's done that, you know, with other interviews and such before. There's some interviews he said that he didn't put out based on his own moral integrity, that it just wouldn't be a good idea, a good look, right? But he did take down that one. What was that guy's name? Cale Dawson. That dude was the ultimate goofy. He went on there talking about he was with 50 when he got shot, and that he was also part of Murder Inc. and he was in Rough Ride. Like, this guy had 1,000,001 bullish stories. But 50 Cent flat out said, Vlad, I want the interview down now. And he took it down with the quickness. Just had to throw that out there. But back to what Dame Dash was saying. What do y'all think about that? And then when I was remembering this, I was like, wait a second. I don't know if it's the same interview or what, but I remember him telling a similar story at a Rockefeller concert, that it wasn't a reunion in a sense, like, hey, we're making up, everything's good, because you know Jay and Dame are like mortal enemies. These dudes fucking hate each other. Jay does everything he can to make Dame try to DIE slow and suffer and everything like that. You know, he always is saying Jay's a snake and all that. But I was like, checked it out, and it is the same interview. So we're going to go back with this clip, but it's the extended version. So pay attention where he talks about this happening in other situation.
Because what's crazy to me is if this hustle is putting stuff in people's drink, he made a liquor. I mean, that's the illest shit in the world. That everybody was partying and you don't know what was in that drink. And if he was, undercover gay, because I didn't know it, and obviously if he was knocking men out and they were waking up violated, he's making somebody gay that doesn't want to be gay. So I'm like, what was in them drinks? And then I'm starting to think like, damn, when did hip-hop start to lose its masculinity? When did dudes, and again, no disrespect to nobody, but like tough niggas started wearing dresses and pocketbooks. Like maybe that could be the reason. And I'm just thinking it through. Like maybe that could be the reason why hip-hop took a turn for the feminine, because that shit, if homie was really putting shit in people's drinks and he's making the liquor, and again, I don't know, and I'm not even saying it to be funny, but they saying, homie was putting shit in motherfuckers' baby oil. So how could you trust that person to serve you drinks at such a big scale? So I'm remembering N.O.R.E. so adamant about me taking a shot of Ciroc, and I'm like, nah. And I brought my own, and now y'all can understand why I always want to make my own. So I brought my own liquor. You know what I'm saying? I was taking shots of my own. And then what happened, I made him take shots of Ciroc. And then he ended up getting too drunk. Talking about take your shirt off and all this type shit. It's on tape. So it ain't, like, you just naturally start to think of things. And then I was thinking, there was this one time that when my daughter was 16, Jay had a show. And my daughter wanted to go. So I'm like, I'm not going to deprive my daughter. So, I hollered at Jay, sent a kite, and told him I wanted to go to his show with my daughter. And they accommodated me to the fullest. People were really surprised to see me there, took pictures with everybody. But, and again, Emery's my brother, so I would hate to think that he was fucking around like that, pause. But he kept asking me something. That was the first time I had tasted that Douce. And I got ridiculously drunk to the extent, and my daughter and I were talking about this the other day, that I was like, I don't get this drunk. Why am I so drunk? And I ended up, wrestling with Kevin Hart. Nigga got me in a chicken wing. And I remember Vaughn taping that shit. And I'm like, why you taping, Vaughn? So I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, because homie makes drinks too, and again, just if this is true, these are the things that I'm like just reflecting on. And if I wouldn't have played everything completely by the book, complete honor, then I could have been compromised. And what would have happened if I ever woke up feeling some kind of way? Compromise. What would I have done?
So y'all heard it, right? He went with his daughter. She wanted to go to the show, and everyone was accommodating to him there. He was backstage, and even though the beef with him and Jay, they were hospitable to him. And Emery's his man, 50 grand, but that Douce had him fucked up, like someone de-rugged him, and then the motherfuckers got the camera out, and it's like, whoa, don't y'all hate that if a motherfucker just starts recording you on some weird ish or whatever? And then he said Kevin Hart got him in the chicken wing. Pause. Like, that's really something, But people have slammed, as you see the headline say, Dame Dash, like he's just a crazy conspiracy theorist. Although I will say there's a lot of people that believe that Jay-Z and other, entities, labels, and people tied to certain blogs that got like juice within the game, within the media and stuff like that, that they post things to make Dame Dash look bad and look worse than he is or whatever. You know, I don't know. Let me know if y'all think that's true or not. But what people were saying, like someone says, if I had the ability to, I would write a community note on this one. Diddy had no equity stake in Ciroc. He was a marketer of Ciroc. Diddy wasn't the manufacturer of Ciroc. It's okay. Then this man just said Diddy has been mass producing GAY chemicals in Ciroc that has feminized rappers and the black community, and Jay-Z possibly slipped him those chemicals in his drinks in the hopes that Dame will wake up with a sore you know what. Pause. And comment though, like, not even speaking about this situation, has anyone out there ever had a motherfucker slip something in their drink? Like, be careful, this happens, you know what I mean? We know there's creeps and weirdos that do this to women, and there's weirdos that do this ish to men too. Like Jeffrey Dahmer was on that ish. He drugged all kinds of individuals back in the day, man. So someone says, for 20 years, y'all have tried to make Jay-Z the bad guy. I'm beginning to see why he divorced him. One thing too, Dame was saying, yo, I don't get drunk like that. I kind of think I remember on the big Pimpin' video, didn't he almost like die of alcohol poisoning or something? Or is that just folklore and rumors? Come on, Dame. Shaking my head. He's going out real fucking sad. I remember I used to love watching his interviews on Hip Hop Motivation, but something has changed. He's not the same guy. He comes across super bitter and hateful. It's too much. I will say, when they were going through that whole thing of trying to sell his piece of the rock and all that, right? They did find, because New York State, there was child support money owed, so social services was involved in all that, and they were trying to mediate this out so they could collect their share, that the sale could go through. And they did say that, like, Jay-Z did try to sour the sale. That is actual factual, man. Someone says, I remember when Dame said, men don't talk about other men, chatty patty. Now all of a sudden, he has his YouTube channel centered around Diddy and Jay-Z. Bruh is happy that Diddy is going through what he's going through. Ish is sickening. So there y'all have it, man. Dame Dash. We got into talking about, you know, N.O.R.E. and you know, to the whole Vlad situation with Mr. Farrakhan, and you know what I mean, Lord Jamar leaving, the downfall, that the success that he had with his channel, then the downfall, and you know, here he is back with Vlad TV. What do y'all think, man? Let's talk about it all in the comments. And Dame Dash, is he just a crazy conspiracy theorist, or do you think something's there? You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Subscribe. Stay tuned for the update, y'all. It's Coffee. Thanks for tuning in. Peace and blessings. Be safe, y'all.